It's a lot.
Yeah. Good amount.
More than I could ever do.
It was still there in the summer when last I checked. I wonder if they still hand clean like they used to.
Becoming less of a thing now.
Yeah, I know. Like that's the Marco's big thing. He doesn't do any of that. It means my record could last forever. Just like all those 40 times.
Kluber said he doesn't like the intros anymore, so fuck it. There's no intro. What's up, fellas?
Hey. Guy listens to his own podcast, huh?
No. I had to check on the podcast because you're an insensitive piece of shit who is talking about things that he shouldn't be talking about, I guess. So when I see that happen in the Discord, people at Drake, tell Kluber to shut the fuck up. He doesn't know anything. Give me a timestamp. Well, I got to go listen to it. And then knowing that if I'm not on a podcast, I'm immediately, as soon as music drops, getting shit on. I obviously have to listen to me get shit on, and then I'll go to the timestamp. And that's what I did. So I noticed that you said, Drake thinks his intros are great. They're not shit. What I say at the beginning, let's have a fucking day, is better. So we just do away with the intros. So fuck you. Intros are over.
That's not the way I remember the conversation going down.
It certainly wasn't. I actually remember me, and I could probably clip it since it was just one episode ago. I said,
You have to do that.
I like Drake's intros. I just want to simply cut the part where we mention the episode number, because the episode number for us, unless it's a 100, it's not relevant. There is no, so like, I just want you to come in hot without saying, welcome to episode 385.
I came in hot.
You did. You brought the energy today.
I haven't been on the Discord in a hot minute. What's the news in there? What's the scoop?
Man, today was wild.
Dude, was it today or yesterday that I said some real bad shit?
I think both.
Like, what day don't you say some bad shit, man?
How have we made it 300?
Is that somebody in the Discord is going to try and ruin my life down the road with a bunch of receipts and things I've said in there?
Yeah, facts.
They're going to fail.
That's because
I'm rich, bitch.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Drake, how can someone else ruin your life at this point?
They can't.
If Drake's done one thing with his life that is really powerful, it is he has gone as much. You have full control, and you've gone as much off the grid and attached yourself as little as possible to other people being able to really play a role in your life. Hey, good and bad.
I either let you in or you never see me or get to touch me. It's awesome, dude. I get to choose exactly the people who infiltrate my life.
Who touch you?
Yeah.
That's good.
Who do you want to touch you, Drake?
You sexy bastard.
Not gonna happen.
Come touch D's, Kev. Come handle D's.
Not gonna happen.
Full control of who touches you in life is a really good thing to have.
Yep.
To be honest, because not everybody gets that, man. Tell you what. Talking about that hang clean on the way in, I couldn't hear shit, Kevin, when the music dropped. What were you saying about the hang clean? You were probably talking about how DeMarco and them, they don't even use it anymore.
Yeah, they did. Episode 385.
You're telling me that hang clean is a deadlift now?
In the sports strength conditioning world, it's
a little bit, yeah.
You're
as far as like
me that all them goddamn times that I strapped onto that bar and thought to myself, how on fucking earth am I going to get this in the air today? Those are done?
They're not done, but they're falling out of favor in the strength and conditioning world.
Yeah,
buddy. Like DeMarco is completely not about them.
Those build testicular fortitude, man. Those are a real dilemma, a crossroad that you have to deal with.
They're a great exercise, no doubt. But
Is he worried about
I think
the way people are catching them in their wrists and stuff?
no. It's not even about that. I think that the new theory is that there's just better ways to get the results that you're looking for in the reason you're doing that lift, right? If any person who's not a football player or athlete or anything goes and does hang cleans, great exercise. You'll get stronger, you'll get in better shape. But we use them as a means of getting more explosive, and I think there's a better theories and better practices
of doing
of doing
weighted
that
jumps now, just like maximal weighted jumps?
Yeah, exactly.
Single leg, bilateral, unilateral.
Hex bar, just jump with it.
Mm-hmm.
The theory is essentially just we'll get into the weeds here, I guess. It's not like we have a shitload to talk about tonight anyway. The theory is that there's too much extracurricular going on in the hang clean that isn't necessary.
Too much skill involved. There can be.
Yeah.
If you're just trying to build raw force production, like having something that is skill based makes sense. Not or going away from something skill based makes sense.
Because the difference between say you stand with a hex bar and you load that bitch up to 300, and you stand with a straight bar and you load that up to 300. The difference between a hang clean and just a weighted jump where I'm not sure how far you'd go down, but you just violent explosive extension through the hips, right? The only thing that the hang clean adds is this catch factor where, yes, you are doing a big shrug, but unless you're Monty Pottabomb, do you need that part of the lift, right? Where you're shrugging it and then how many people, we just talked to Ike like 2 weeks ago, or Josie was talking about it too. You know, the labrums of these guys, because what happens at the college level is no one knows hook grip, and you're not.
Well, we're strapped in with hang clean
straps, right? You're locked in. If that bar goes rolling out to the outdoor practice fields, you're going with it.
Yeah.
And it feels great when you hit it, right? It just, everything feels so clean and smooth. But if you don't, and that catch just is off a little bit, everyone who's done it knows at a heavy weight, them shoulders, them wrists, people's wrists just get destroyed. If you don't have good, especially if you don't have good upper internal rotation of the shoulder to be able to get the elbows high, you're fucked. So I don't think DeMarco or Lima uses hang cleans at all in their strength conditioning.
Well, what DeMarco says goes. He's building aliens, so what he says goes.
Yeah, I mean, if I wanted to stop doing them so I could just keep my record for forever, that'd be great.
They might be doing them less. In fact, I think I want to say that when I last talked to my brother back when he was still in the program, they were focusing on them less. So,
well, I mean, we focused on them pretty damn.
That's all we did.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go out there on a note and say that there was no program in the country that could hang clean more weight than the Iowa Hawkeyes since 2013 to 2017.
Not a shame.
Come get us, dude.
If
get us.
If the long snapper's doing 360, hey, everybody else just sit down, huh?
Bro, the backup safety was doing 400.
Yeah, I know.
was going to say, I don't even remember 415 or so. 420 was around my max.
Our 400 plus hang clean club during our years was as impressive as the 400, 500 bench clubs from the 80s.
Our 500 pound hang clean list exists.
Right.
Thanks, That's all we need to say. We have an existent 500. Wait. No, Tristan didn't get to 6.
I think Tristan did what, 435 for 4 or something like that?
450 for 4.
Jesus. Yeah. And Sheriff, our freshman year, did something.
435 for 3. I watched it in person.
Right.
Same. Yeah. That one was freaky, dude.
Boys, that
was getting him all hyped, dude. That one was freaky.
Talk about boner, man. A freshman Tyler Kluver, who's still carrying hundreds of pounds of baby fat at this point. I'm in there Marshalltown High School didn't do a lot of hang cleaning. All right. And so your boy is lucky to put 205 on the bar at this point in my career, early on in that old Jacobson weight room. And Sheriff loads 435. Well, hey, that's
And it was at
100.
the old Olympic plates too, so it was a whole rainbow, which is amazing.
So sexy. And that's 100 more pounds than I squatted. So I was confused, to say the least. And he pops that bitch up onto his shoulders. And I'm like, oh, we're in the presence of a superhero.
Now, do you think he could have done more when we got those sexy new Usaka bars at the new
Absolutely.
facility?
I think it adds 5%.
Yeah, because them things bounced.
If you're doing 400 or around there, I think you got an extra 20 pounds with a Usaka bar. If you feel it out and you kind of understand the rhythm of how it bends.
I 100% agree. Yeah, those things were sexy, man. I would hang clean more often if I could afford the $1,000 bar.
We should move in together. And
you can.
Yeah, facts.
I can, but I got other shit.
In fact, let me just brag for the boys. We could all buy the Usaka bar if we wanted to. I mean, let's be honest here, right? Pod does numbies, right? We could buy Usakas, but we don't because Drake doesn't.
Business expense.
And we could just write it off as a business expense.
This is now a fitness podcast.
Well, Drake missed it. Well, it's been a fitness podcast, but what it really is, for those that know, is a friendship podcast. Because we don't talk about football on here. I don't know if anybody
knows what football is anymore. The season's over, and TCU doesn't know what football is either. So,
well, that's on the list. That's on the list for tonight. How do we feel about Georgia making TCU look like a Sun Belt team?
I can't believe that happened. Like TCU played so well the week before. Georgia played so bad. Like I know that Georgia has a better roster, but not a 65-7 roster. Like that's a game TCU team.
I very well saw the possibility of Georgia just kind of curb stomping them.
I said it, Kevin, our pod.
I said it too. It's like in my mind, I think Georgia runs away with this thing, but I wanted TCU to win.
That's what I wanted. I wanted TCU to make it a game so that we could see what they were in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Drake, I think TCU got lucky that Michigan played a really sloppy game against them the week before.
I agree. But they showed how many points they can put up on a really good defense. That was my whole reason for thinking TCU had a chance to make it a game. Sure. I knew they couldn't beat them. I was trying to see. I was expecting them to be able to make it a game with their high-powered offense and how game the whole team is.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia played just a really good game on offense. On defense, they had a couple of errors. They had one blown coverage, and that's how TCU got their one touchdown. There wasn't a team in the country that was competing with Georgia last night.
No. That's what happens when you get punched in the mouth and everybody on the sideline kind of looks at each other like, oh, fuck, they're better than us.
A lot better.
Hey, guys, they're way better than us. And
I mean,
I don't know who's.
Yeah.
Kev, you might have said it, or I don't know if Bo said it in the chat. Rose Bowl vibes, huh?
Yeah, I said that. Yeah.
Worse than.
Oh, way worse, man. Way worse.
We beat them in the second half. We outscored Stanford in the second half.
People forget that.
Yeah. Someone said that on Twitter and said, honestly, should have been a tie game. Each team won a half. Who scored, by the way? Stone? Did Stone score from a pass from CJ?
I don't remember who got the touchdown. I remember Josie had a pick.
I'm going to pull up the box score. 2016.
It was 35-0 at halftime. And
sure was.
Final score is 45-16. So we won the second half by 6 points.
Let's just share this here. Hey, look, it's Greg Maben chasing after God himself.
Hey, speaking of Megan, he's still sticking around in the league, man.
I was just gonna say we need to have Maben on the pod. He's sixth year.
He's been sneaky staying around there.
Yeah. Looks like Vandenberg scored. Vandy scored a touchdown, and here we go. Here's a scoring summary. Get all the fucking. This is horrible.
11 seconds in, Christian McCaffrey 75-yard touchdown on a play that we practiced so many times.
Dude, fuck me, man. 8 plays. Then they just prove that they've got like holding power. 8 plays, 74 yards.
They had a good offensive line that year too. They were a physical team.
So
what did you want us to do?
When then where's what was that? They had a pick 6, didn't they? Right in the first quarter too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With 4 minutes left, Quentin Meeks 66-yard interception. That's really what did it, right? They're up 21-0 in the first quarter. They've scored on a 1-yard drive right off the bat, an 8-yard or a 1-play drive, an 8-play drive, and then a pick 6. And at this point, it's hey, let's hit LAX and get our asses out of here, you know.
And then the punt return now is 28-0, and
hey, we were a part of that play.
Yeah. I touched him. I think maybe
I didn't even get fucking close.
I think I got a finger on him.
He got multiple fingers inside of you and all of us.
And then I remember that trick play to go up 35-0. I don't know if you guys remember. They did like the fake handoff. The quarterback like fake fell on the ground or something like that.
We had a little run here though. It was 38-0. The boys went out, got it done on a field goal, 39-yarder. Vandy, 36-yard pass from Siege. Akram, 31-yard pass for Siege. I mean, we were coming back. Like Kevin said on Twitter, if we had 8 more quarters.
10. I did the math. We needed 10 more quarters at that pace.
10 more.
We were making up 6 points every 2 quarters.
So it was not a great day. But yeah, that was bad. They got stuffed, and I don't know. People were pissed because it was the championship game, and people want to see a better championship game. They earned their way into the game. I mean,
they beat
100%. Yeah, they deserve to be there. They deserve to be in the Final Four, and they straight up beat their playoff opponent. I would argue that
the discrepancy in college football.
Right. I think Michigan played a very bad game. We talked about that earlier. I think Michigan, if they play up to their standard, wins 7, 8 out of 10 times versus TCU.
Yeah.
But I think Michigan still gets run over by Georgia. I think I think Ohio State has the only roster in the country that could match up with Georgia man for man.
They're so good. They're just so good.
Dude, they haven't been beat in 2 years. That roster hasn't been beat in 2 years.
I mean, they got a guy named
They lost last year.
Lad McConkey.
In the SEC championship, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bama beat them for the
Bama beat them in the SEC, and then Georgia came back and beat them in the national.
Smoked them in the championship.
If you've got a guy named Lad McConkey, I mean, you fucking win, right?
No, I don't think so. I think most times that guy doesn't play.
Most times that guy works at an auto body shop.
And his dad's a racist.
Yeah, they're all racist.
But Lad came out a good football player, so
he did. He did, and he's got a guy that's our age throwing the ball to him. So, it is what it is. Nico and Stetson.
Dude, Stetson Bennett would be the 9th or 10th youngest starting quarterback in the NFL right now.
I saw the list. It was
isn't like Lamar's older than him or younger than him?
Dude, there's a list of 8 or 10 guys that are younger than him.
Lawrence, Lamar,
Joey Biscuits, Herbert. I mean,
Tua,
Zach Wilson. The list goes on, dude.
Yeah, it's a big
Mac
list.
Jones.
See, man, I think I understand what they did with the COVID year.
Yeah.
They probably should have only given it to the seniors that year. because we're going to have like 24 and 25-year-olds playing college football for like the next 3 years.
Sure.
Which which is fine, I guess. I just think it's weird. And I don't think that's
what cheating, dude. 25-year-olds playing against 18, 19-year-olds.
Bro, 25-year-old me would absolutely curb stomp 18-year-old me.
I mean,
not even the same human.
Dude.
No, they're not even close.
28. I mean, it's not like we're getting old yet, but like I'm not even the same I mean, physically I'm not the same person as I used to be.
You're not the same person you used to be either.
Got a kid now. Fucking dad over here, you know? Changed a diaper right before this podcast. Out here doing dad shit. Yeah, the COVID year, it made things weird, and that's gonna play effect all the way through 2025.
Yeah.
So, or I guess 2026, technically. No. 2025, because yeah. So we've got 3 more years of that.
It's what I was talking to one of my buddies. His wife played softball in college and said it's even weirder for that because they got like 2 COVID seasons because they canceled like the end of the 2020 season because it was like, and then they didn't get like a 2021 season or something like that.
So there's like 38-year-old chicks running around.
Yeah, something like that. He said something like crazy. Like there was like, 25-year-olds playing softball still too.
And Drew Ott couldn't get a 5th year.
And Drew couldn't get 5. Makes sense. Fucking tragedy.
Did you see Drew the video that Only Ott Farms put out the other day of them on vacation?
Yeah.
Yes.
I laughed my ass off.
Callie does a good job on that.
They share it. Sometimes it's Drew. Yeah,
you're right. It's funny. When we started this podcast, like when we found like initial success and we're a year in and we're still doing it, right? And people were following us and shit. Drew reached out on behalf of Callie and was like, hey, can you give us some advice on like starting a brand and like all this stuff? Callie thinks that we could start a farm account and like get a bunch of followers. And then that was before TikTok happened. And now they make TikToks and they've got like a decent little following. They're doing it over there. Drew's the perfect person.
Follow Only Ott Farms on Instagram too.
Only Ott Farms.
Only Ott Farms on Instagram.
We should really blow their merch. We should get their
I've been inviting him and Callie down to Arizona for years, dude.
Farmers don't leave their
dude. Callie's always like, yeah, I really want to come down, and it never happens. And it's because Drew is so deeply rooted. Drew is more rooted in Nebraska than I am in Arizona, and I can respect the man for it.
He's got like 200 cattle to take care of, man. What do you want him to do?
I'm telling you, there's nobody on earth that is more stuck to their land than farmers. They don't give a fuck. They will. They are going to die in that dirt, and that's where they will lay.
Yep.
It's
a damn respectable. It's a damn respectable man.
The most respectable.
There's nobody on earth that can feel better about the job that they do than a farmer.
Yeah. Why do you think Josie was back in Decorah every 3 days our freshman year?
Hard to get it. Like the guy's made millions of dollars. Where does he choose to build his home? Back in Decorah.
Already built.
Farm.
Respect. Loyal. There is saw iColt tweeted this out, retweeted Brandon Marcello on Twitter. I'll just share this as well real quick. There is a new rule as far as transfers go for those who are going to, well, we can just read it. The council voted unanimously to update guidelines for the waiver process for undergraduate student athletes who are transferring for a second time. So this would be like anyone who, okay, not that this is going to happen, but Carson May just spent his first year on campus. He's transferring. If he decides wherever he goes next that he wants to transfer again before he graduates from that school, right? The grad transfer sort of nixes this ruling. But each waiver request will be evaluated on a case-by-case basis. Moving forward, student athletes must meet one of the following criteria to be granted a waiver to compete immediately. So you're still able to do it, but you might not be granted immediate eligibility.
Read the first one.
A demonstrated physical injury or illness or mental condition that necessitated the student's transfer.
Hey, they gave me my transfer papers immediately, dog.
Supporting documentation, care plans, and proximity of the student's support system will be considered. The second criteria bullet point is, I didn't even know this was a word. Exigent circumstances that clearly necessitate a student athlete's immediate departure from the previous school. Example, physical assault or abuse or sexual assault unrelated to the student athlete's athletic participation. Well, Drake might have qualified for both of those bullet points.
What?
Physical assault?
What'd I do?
I don't know. You could have gotten yourself in a fight where you were assaulted.
Didn't you slap Jaleel that one time?
You were reciprocally.
Okay, listen. Jaleel and I were slapped. We were shadow boxing in the weight room, and I accidentally hit him, and he got his back in the locker room where I stood with my hands behind my back. And I said, if you're going to fucking hit me once, get it over with, and don't you dare hit me again because it's fucking on. And he hit me once, and then he really wanted to hit me again. I was like, do it. I dare you. We're fighting. Hit me again. And he didn't hit me again. And Jaleel and I love each other.
That's a guy we need to have on the podcast.
He would do it.
Tried at one point, and then he stopped responding to you, Drake, I think.
I'll try again.
I hit up AJ. Alaric Jackson was tweeting a little bit yesterday about his season with the Rams, and people were interacting with him on Twitter. I said, AJ, we got to have you on the show, talk about the career, now you in the NFL. He said, Kluver, let's do it. So cool. Love AJ.
I'll keep in touch with him.
Big AJ on.
Big AJ, big old happy dude.
I'm a big AJ fan.
I am too. I like Alaric. Good dude. So that is for the transfer portal. That helps a little bit. Now it at least places, unless you plan on being assaulted, it at least places a.
Yeah. What was that you trying to say? I'm a sexual assaulter? Is that what you're trying to say there?
No, I'm saying.
Calling me a rapist?
No,
I ain't no raper.
I'm saying that physical assault wouldn't be something that would surprise me if your name and physical assault happen to
end up in the same sentence.
In the same
Brian
sentence.
In my career. I'll just put it that way. Thank you, Brian.
Not just your career.
He saved my life. Thank you, Brian.
You guys realize that
Woo!
that's the dream pod, right?
Yeah, it's
like
the dream.
If Brian leaves for another position, takes a head coaching job somewhere, takes another position somewhere, people are laughing right now. I don't give a fuck. If he is out of the Iowa program, we will ask him to come on this show. And if he gave us a good 2 hours,
he could probably give us 45 minutes of Drake content alone.
So that's what I'm saying. There would be so much to talk about. And here's the deal. He'll do it. Lystico, for the last 2 seasons, has gone in and done a 3-hour marathon podcast interview with him in this, right before the season starts. So Brian's not opposed.
I've heard him on a few podcasts. Yeah.
In that 3 hours. He knew what was going to be, what he was going to be answering. Here, he would be flying blind.
And you don't think he'd like that?
Oh, he'd love it. Brian loves the bullshit, man.
And there's always a stipulation that I can cut, whatever.
Yeah.
Brian is more than KF, more than Goat Wallace. Well, I don't know. Goat Wallace and Brian. We have confirmation from Goat Wallace that if he's ever not with Iowa anymore, that he's coming on the podcast.
Yep.
Look for the Goat Wallace merch to come back at the 24/7 store soon. Hot commodity. Especially after he was named the linebacker coach of the year by Football Scoop or whatever. Like a legit nomination. Obviously having the Butkus helps with that. It's not like these committees or people who decide on these rules are like out at practice of every school in the country watching how linebacker coaches coach. So they don't exactly know if he's the best linebacker coach in the country, but
he is. But they're right.
In this instance, it's pretty damn close.
Still haven't seen any pictures of anyone wearing the Goat Wallace merch in the facility, but I would absolutely love to see that.
I want Jack Campbell to run his 40 in it in Indy. Fuck that Under Armour tight stuff. I want him to rock out there with a Goat Wallace sweatshirt.
You know he's gonna run fast no matter what he's wearing. Kid could walk out there in sweatpants and a denim jacket, and he's still running 4.5.
I think you could put him in handcuffs, feet and hands, and he'd still run faster than I did. 4.92, by the way.
Oh, I thought your number started with the 5.
No. 4.92.
Okay.
I wasn't mud slow, you know?
The weight you put on did not help your agility.
No, if I was still 215 on pro day, I might have been low 4.8s.
Your legs are too short to run low 4.8s. You can't turn them over fast enough. I've seen you run, buddy. Them calves are heavy.
I got redwoods.
That foot hits the ground. It does not look like a sprinter.
I'm not arguing there. I certainly wasn't built to run fast and straight. You know? Now,
low and sideways.
Yeah, you get me side to side, and you're wondering where I'm at because I'm not next to you.
Right? You should have been a tennis player.
Could have been a great tennis player. Not really, because most of them are a little taller than me, 6'1". Definitely don't have the cardio of some of them tennis players. God damn.
Should have been a gymnast.
Probably should have been a gymnast or a wrestler, honestly. If we're going to take me back to like 3 or 4 years old.
You're probably too tall to have been a gymnast. They're all shorter. I think we're just coming to the conclusion. You had no chance. Whatever you wanted to do.
No, that's not true. I think legitimately I have a chance to go play high level baseball if I put into it what I did other sports from a young age. I think I could have been a damn good catcher. I already was.
I can see that.
Yeah, but baseball fucking sucked. I hated that shit.
Swimming, dog. That's one of the things I put the most time into in my whole life, and it was the worst thing of all time.
Baseball?
Swimming.
Oh, swimming. Yeah, you did a lot of swimming,
and it sucked.
I'm just getting into swimming. Why'd you hate it so much?
Because at the age that we were doing the workouts that we were doing, to me, it felt a little bit more like torture than sport, because like it was workouts that were built for the absolute elite tier of our age, like elite tier. And I wasn't elite. I was good. I was maybe borderline really good, but I was nowhere near elite. And I was having to do these workouts that were just a little bit above my like threshold potential. So every day I was just suffering trying to make it.
So it was just hard, is what you're saying.
Did
you actually enjoy competitions and stuff, or?
Yes, because we were so dominant.
Yeah, they were good.
We set records around the Midwest. Like, you go to Minnesota and my name's still written in some age group record book.
Sounds like the workouts worked.
They did, because I was the worst on the team and I was still better than almost everybody else anywhere.
Yeah. You guys had just the most random shit that Drake was part of a 4-man team that was a squad.
Dude, it was more like a 7 or 8-man team that would come to your pool and stomp you the fuck out.
The water was yours.
We owned it. Yeah. Aquaman.
Back to that playoff situation. Do you guys think that like the parity at the top, it's not going to go like the 12-person playoff?
Especially when these teams are able to pay. Casper is sending me more people. Oregon has 175 people on their roster right now, and none of them are less than a 4-star.
How?
Okay, well that's
I'm being facetious. I'm being facetious. Okay. But let me. I'm just gonna.
I mean, I guess if you just like give them a walk-on spot and it's like, hey, we're also gonna pay you $100,000 a year. Now you're just netting 50 of it.
So their
You
defensive
just have
line
150 people on the roster. Not that that helps at all. I don't know.
Their defensive line room is a 315-pound 3-star tackle, 4-star, 5-star, 4-4, 4-4, 4-4, 4-4, and they just got an edge rusher from South Carolina that is transferring in. So they now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 defensive linemen 4-star or above. That's one room.
Yikes. I mean,
We'll see if they can coach them.
yeah, here's the deal, right? Like it still doesn't mean there's a lot of other factors, but certainly that's better than a room full of 2-stars, right?
But all I'm saying is that's where the parity in football comes from. You put all the talent in one place like Alabama under Saban and his coaching staff because you're able to pay these players whatever you want. That's going to create an insane talent gap.
I will say this, with the
It's
12,
always been a couple team race, but I think it's going to get worse.
but do we think that
It
It doesn't get better because now more teams get players because they can offer them.
Well, you have a selling point of like now there's probably 20 to 25 teams who can legitimately say like, hey, we're going to compete for the playoff next year, right? And more will.
So do you think some recruits go to places they wouldn't because they get the money and they know they're going to be a star?
Yes.
Like obviously not Caden Proctor, but
Which, by the way, we got to come up with some. I don't mean to like make that whole situation redundant, but the people online, Abdul Hodge with a little pettiness tweet out there that said, it was a tweet about Lindy having like the best run grade or the best rookie.
Tyler Linderbaum is a monster.
Yeah, there was a tweet about him being like the best rookie offensive lineman in the league this year. And
Proctor saying like I would already been the best player there. I need competition.
Abdul tweeted it and said, glad he settled for Iowa. Ooh. So we need like a shirt that just says like settled for Iowa or something like that. Settled for the black and gold. I don't know. I think it would do numbies, but
I'm gonna wear a t-shirt that says Iowa settled for me.
That's the ones that we need.
That's just for this this trio right here.
Iowa very reluctantly settled for us. But yeah, there's I don't know. I think you can recruit on the fact that, hey, now we have an actual chance to make the playoff. I think kids do care about that. I don't know if it's a huge recruiting tool. But then once we get into the playoff, we've got a 12-team race, right? So the top 4 seeds get a bye, I believe. The bottom 8 play into those 4. Now that you have to win 3 games, if you're one of those top 4 seeds, does an extra game of wear and tear on the body in December at the end of the season and less time, I guess I don't know the time frame exactly, but a little bit less time to have between your last regular season game or your conference championship and those games starting, does that now make those top 4 teams a little bit more beat up, a little bit more prone to lose, to get caught? I don't know. Maybe it might help the parity.
Well, what I was saying, I think I'm on the other side of that, where there has been such a discrepancy and talent gap that we've seen throughout the playoffs already in the however many 8 years or whatever that the playoffs have been, right? Like,
right.
A lot of the times the semifinals haven't. This year, the semifinals were awesome.
This was the only year, basically.
But basically, the semifinals haven't been games in the other years. So we're seeing that it's a two-team race the whole year, anyways. Now you're giving those two teams a bye week to rest their horses to now come in against a team that's inferior and more beat up. It feels like it's just going to make these quarterfinal games bet the house on the favorite to cover the spread because they're going to run them out of the fucking stadium.
In the Elite Eight games, if they're going to call them that, yes. In that first round after those first 8 teams play, and now you have the top 4 seeds versus whatever 4 seeds are in, those games maybe. But then I understand this is just like, okay, cool. Now we've got it up to 4 teams that have a chance.
The 4 teams you were already going to have anyways.
But now they're all 1 week in and beat up. And now those same 4 teams have played. They're not exactly fresh in that
but
final 4.
But it's the same way. All of those 4 teams almost always, just except for Ohio State this year, and one SEC team every year maybe, has all played in the championship game. They all just played a 13th game the week before. Bang. I guess they get all that bowl prep off.
I'm not saying it will matter. I'm just trying to pose potential differences in the way.
I think that the play-in games are going to offer fans exactly what they want. Those play-in games are going to be ultra competitive.
I agree. That first weekend of the playoff now, those first
gonna stink.
No.
Those are going to be blowouts, dude. Those Elite Out 8 games.
I'm saying before they get there.
Oh, the play-in games are going to be like wild card games in the NFL or whatever.
Sick.
They're going to be sweet because it's good football teams that are pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, I agree with that. After that, it may look very much the same as it does right now.
It's going to be a boat race after that.
You guys see you probably didn't, Drake, but the tweet today about the expectations around what Wirfs' contract is going to be?
It'll be the highest ever. It'll be a 5-year, 105-year, 100.
We're going 9 figures here.
You're right on, Drake.
5 years, 120. I guessed it.
The expected is, I don't know how many years, but the expected is 24.8 a year.
Oh, that's a little over what I guessed. 124.
$125 million contract. Highest paid, not just right tackle, but would be the highest paid lineman in the history of the NFL.
And he's still young, right? So
he's fucking 25. I think he's 24, maybe. Tristan Wirfs.
So you're gonna get the meat of his career right there with the 5-year deal.
Dude, he's fucking 23.
Jesus, he can sign another one after that.
Another 5. He can sign another 5 after that.
Look at T-Daddy.
So what I'm hearing, we all talk him up, right? We've all talked about how crazy he is, how otherworldly he is. There's an NFL lineman that I've heard talking he could be the best ever.
AQ, right? On Pat's show.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's consensus. Like, from what he's done the last couple of years.
He has the potential to be the best to ever put his hand in the dirt. Our friend Tristan.
I know. Who's the best ever right now? Trent Williams?
I think Joe Staley has a chance to throw his hat in the ring.
Staley?
I think he had one of the most incredible careers ever.
Oh, I'm drawing a blank on his name now. Coach Ferentz is talking. He played for the Ravens.
Marshall Yanda.
Well, Marshall's probably top 10, top 15.
Yes, he had a 4-letter last name, if I remember correctly.
All right, I just pulled up, and who knows if this website's worth a shit, but this is the top 21 offensive linemen in the history of the NFL. Let me go down to the top 5 and see who they say. These are all old people. Not saying that doesn't mean anything. Anthony Munoz.
Munoz, yeah, he had a unbelievable
Jonathan
career.
Ogden.
Ogden.
Ogden was
That's a fire
good.
name. Damn.
Yeah, he's third on
Yeah.
this list.
Yeah. Coach Ferentz used to talk about coaching him when he was in the league, and just like,
Jesus Christ, he was 6'9".
Ogden?
I saw him in person one time, and he is without a doubt the most enormous human being I've ever seen in person.
11 straight Jesus Christ, 11 straight Pro Bowls until his 2007 retirement. At 6'9", 340 pounds, Ogden helped pave the way for Baltimore's bruising Jamal Lewis, who racked up 2,100 yards in 2003. Ogden also helped bring a Super Bowl ring back to Baltimore during his playing days.
When I tell you this guy had the biggest head I've ever seen in my entire life, it's like the guy was wearing a helmet. Bigger than Ben Neiman. It was twice the size of Ben Neiman's.
Boys,
shit you not. It's like a normal human being wearing a helmet.
Holy
Look at this thing.
Holy shit.
It doesn't fit in the helmet.
That boy got a melon on him. Oh my God.
This man is massive, boys.
But yeah, I remember Coach Ferentz talking about him in team meetings. Like, there's just some guys that you just don't even have to coach, right?
That's Ray Lewis.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Ogden next to Ray.
Is that Ed Reed and
Ogden
McNeil?
next to E. Reed.
Well, that's Ed Reed, but that's they're standing on the same stage. Ray Lewis ain't small, boys and girls.
I don't think he's actually that tall, though. I think he's.
I was gonna say I would have expected somebody that's 6'9", 340 to dwarf Ray a little worse.
Ray was
6'1".
Yeah, he was 6'1", I guess, and ran 4.58 at 250. That's decent.
Yeah, man.
Bad,
He's my
dude.
favorite football player of all time growing up. I wanted to be Ray Lewis. My dad called me Lil Ray. I wore Ray Lewis's jersey around everywhere. I would just run around the basement, running into shit, hitting shit.
That explains a lot.
I wanted to be Ray Lewis more than anybody else on earth.
Explains a lot.
Maybe Tiger Woods, but Ray Lewis would have been second to Tiger.
I remember watching that Ray Lewis Ed Reed combo as a kid, and like
Jesus,
like that is why football is awesome. Is what these two guys are doing right here.
Yeah, that's so. I mean, back to Tristan, 25 million. Also, I believe right now Sheriff is the highest paid guard in the NFL.
He is.
So if Tristan's the highest paid tackle and Sheriff is the highest paid guard,
and Lindy is
used to be the highest paid guard. Eric Steinbach back in the day.
Wow,
another Hawkeye guy.
For him.
Also Providence Catholic alum, by the way.
Wow,
Seriously?
Oh yeah.
And I heard Steinbach was a lunatic.
I heard the same. Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. I mean, we should probably get him on the podcast then, huh?
We could try to make it happen. Yeah, I talked to him the last time, a little bit at the last little like family deal they did over the summer.
Yeah. Let's get him on the pod.
He's a good guy.
What you were going at there, Drake, is correct. If Lindy just skyrockets and for some reason somehow becomes the highest paid center in the league, all three Hawkeyes just the highest paid at the entire line, like that'd be nuts.
Be nice little.
I wish we could take any credit for it, but I mean,
it's unfortunate that they all had to settle at Iowa. You know, couldn't get hit in the mouth somewhere else. Kev, I know last pod without Drake, we really pondered that, that whole friendship thing and what this podcast is. Drake, our conversation revolved around somebody commented on
I heard a little bit of it.
Somebody commented on our YouTube and said, "You guys ever talk football, or is this just a friendship podcast?" So then Kevin and I were like, "Yeah, what is this podcast?" I'm not really sure. I thought we got a really cool definition from Brad, one of our walk-on Army members in the Patreon. He said, "Just had to send my thoughts on what the podcast could be described as, or at least how I see it. I feel like it's an insight into the Iowa way from playing to living. All three of you slay life in the way I could guess Kirk and Doyle would want men to turn into. Just had to share that. Whatever it is you guys are, just keep being you." Like, that's a good way to put it. Like,
I think he's giving me a little too much credit, but
I would agree. Yeah. So, yeah. Who knows? Keep being friends. Keep doing friendship podcasts.
Yeah, just do fun shit with your friends, man. That's all we've ever been doing.
For real. Last thing, the NFL playoffs are set. How do we feel about that? Who's going to take home the Super Bowl this year?
Dude, if it's listen to me. I'm telling you right now, I'm saying it on the podcast so that I can't back out of this. If it's Niners Bills,
You're going
to the Super Bowl.
If it's Niners Bills, I might try.
Where's it at this year?
It's in Glendale, Arizona.
Oh, well, fuck, you should go anyway.
No. I'm not spending that money on tickets unless it's
What's the bottom ticket for a Super Bowl?
$2,500.
Yeah. But all players get tickets. You could ask Josie if he hasn't sold his already to sell you for face value or discount because he's
all
rich.
players in the NFL get tickets.
Yeah.
Or I could buy them from Ben too. Oh, now you're talking, Kev.
Yeah,
Kevin, see, friendship. See,
friendship. So, I think it's really interesting. Or at least a cool system that they do, where the lowest remaining seed after the play-in games plays the 1 seed, and then the other 2 teams play.
They're like, "Oh, congrats, you won a game."
Yeah. So the matchups in the second round aren't always like guaranteed. They're not guaranteed to be set. So I don't know. The Bengals are going to beat the Ravens. I don't think Tua's playing for the Dolphins. So the Bills are going to roll. Who do you think wins in the Jaguars Chargers
the
game?
Jags, bro. I think they got more heart.
They've been playing now.
Jags got home field advantage.
That would mean that the Jags would then take on KC, and it would be Bills Bengals in a rematch of the game that was canceled.
Which I think is fate. Bills Bengals feels like fate.
It does kind of feel like it, huh?
Yeah.
Then on the other side, you have the Eagles versus probably the
Cowboys are a field goal favorite at Tampa.
I would say
Give
Cowboys.
Me Tampa. Give me Tampa money line. Taking that one to the bank. Yeah.
Wow.
What do you like so good? Dude, they haven't looked good all year.
All year. You like Tom in the playoffs?
Hasn't looked good at all down the stretch.
That's true.
And Dallas knows how to choke the playoffs away. They just know how to do it.
That's also true.
I'll take the Cowboys.
That's cool. You're paying minus money for them. You're paying minus money on the Cowboys.
Would make for a divisional matchup in the second round with the Eagles, and then the Vikings might get caught by the Giants, boys.
Imagine paying minus money for the Cowboys in the playoffs with their resume.
True.
What the fuck's Tampa's resume?
Super Bowl champs.
He's just saying historically. When's the last time the Cowboys won a playoff game?
It's been a hot minute.
Hasn't it been since like the early 90s?
It's been a hot minute. But yeah, I think the Vikings have a very real chance of getting caught. I don't think they're nearly as good as their record.
Agreed. But yes, Dallas's defense is going to give Tampa an issue. You're right. 100%.
I don't think Tampa's defense is even that good either.
They can play well.
I don't think it matters because they're going to end up playing, well, I guess.
The Cowboys beat the Eagles. I think they split the regular season 1-1.
Yeah. I mean, the Eagles lost some games with Hurts out.
I think he played the game against the Cowboys, I'm pretty sure.
I don't say this just because the boy is the king of the land, but dude, the Niners are dangerous.
The Niners are a problem. Yeah.
They're a problem.
I think they got to be the favorite coming out of the NFC, to be honest.
I agree.
Even without getting the
I've got a futures bet on them to come to make the Super Bowl.
What's the futures on them right now?
I don't know. I got it at plus 800 about 2.5 months ago. 2 months ago.
That's pretty damn good value. I'm guessing it's at half that now.
That's really good. Let me see if I can find it here on the NFL futures. They've got Super Bowl 57 odds. They're at plus 500 now. So Drake got them better than that. You've got Kansas City at plus 330.
Yikes,
Bills
that's terrible.
Bills
Kansas
plus
City's
3.
the favorite, huh? I don't think I like that.
Hey, but if you bet Bills KC both, I think you're gonna be profitable no matter what.
A lot of the time.
Yeah.
My one thing about the Bills, man, is they are a little beat up on defense.
Yeah, they are, man. They're real beat up on defense.
Hey, I saw a thing that Hyde is coming back for the playoffs.
Shut up.
I saw
just
something like that too.
Just saw it on Twitter that Hyde's making a return for this playoff game.
He's getting an interception. That one's written.
Another guy that settled for Iowa,
Whoops.
Dude's been in the league a long time now, too.
He's
You mean the Pro Bowler?
I think him and Reef, and if you count Mike Daniels, they're like the oldest ones still in the league from Iowa.
I mean, it's been a decade. It's been a decade for Hyde now.
Balaga, I think, was on the. I think he's still bouncing around, and so, yeah.
Kirksey's still out there too. There's some old dudes.
Kirksey led Houston in tackles this year.
Kirko, he was also their Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee.
True.
Settled for Iowa.
I think that's going to be. I think you're right, Kluve. There could be a merch idea there.
You know what we could do is we could take their NFL numbers, right, and we'd put a bunch of little circles on the shirt, and it's just like Josie, and it's Broncos colors 47, and then it's Wirfs 78 and it's just all of the guys that are just murdering in the NFL right now. Doesn't say the teams, right? We don't run into any copyright. It's just the names, and you can kind of tell what it is, or you just line them up like in a line across the shirt, make 2 rows. And
I think it'd be cool if you did the dots on the back and settled for Iowa on the front.
Or you could do that, but you add all the dots with their colors and numbers so that we don't have to go and get approval from every single one of the guys, because who knows what those mean, right? Oh, I think AdCraft may print that, and then on the front just said settled for Iowa. Black and gold shirt, or a black shirt on the front, gold letters, settled for Iowa. On the back, all the numbers. Bane liked the idea.
That didn't sound like Bane's bark.
That's Mila.
That was Mila.
We're fighting. Dude.
All right, well.
At the stadium on Sunday, they sang happy birthday to George's grandma on her 100th birthday, dude.
Saw
One
that.
of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's wild.
And then George and JJ were down on the field talking to each other, and then they both started waving up to us, to George grandma, obviously.
Yeah.
And I happened to see it. I was watching them at that time. And then George came back to the house, and he's like, yeah, JJ was talking to me. He's like, dude, is your grandma really 100? He's like, holy shit, that's really impressive. He's like, I don't know anybody that's 100.
Dude, it's hard to make it to 100, at least for people who were born 100 years ago. Not easy. Excited to dive more into your trip out to San Francisco in DHT tomorrow, Rick.
Yes, sir. Dickhead Thursday, because Kluver's a dickhead.
That's
Drake. It's
news.
honestly, DHT is Dadhead Thursday.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that's the reason that this podcast got pushed back, is because Dad had duties in the afternoon.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us. We'll if you're a Patreon member, you'll hear me and Drake tomorrow. Otherwise, we will talk on Monday. See you then. Peace.